the heart of Savannah, where history and legend intertwine like the branches of ancient trees, there exists a world unseen by the ordinary eye. Here, the past refuses to stay buried, and the night is alive with secrets. Welcome to a city where the veil between the living and the dead is as thin as the morning fog, where creatures of legend walk among us, hidden in plain sight, and ancient pacts still hold sway over the living and the supernatural alike. From the restless spirits that roam the old plantations to the mythical beings lurking in the shadows of the city's winding alleys, Savannah is a place where every street corner hides a tale, and every nightfall brings a new chapter in a story as old as the city itself. This is the story of Savannah's secrets, where the supernatural is not just a whisper in the wind, but a pulse that beats through the very soul of this haunted city. Are you ready to uncover the truth? Welcome to Mythic, Savannah.
we go. We have killed the music. Everybody on over. And voila, I guess we're waiting on Abby with some technical issues. I don't want to have to keep saying this during game, but I'm going to start saying this at the beginning of each game. If you were typing for any reason, mute yourself, please. Otherwise, I will physically mute you on our side. And I may forget, which means it's going to look weird with you talking and thinking your people are hearing you. So, just as a heads up. Okay, so who has our recap for tonight's game? I
think it's
Shelley.
That usually helps. Okay, so the scene starts with Sly, Joe, and Charles go to leave the warehouse dock place. When cars pull up and men jump out and begin firing, Sly takes 2 bullets, Joe takes 1. 2 of the bad men are in robes and their faces are covered with a cloth with a Celtic-like cross on them. Others have short hair and tactical clothing. One of the robed men casts a fireball at the truck, engulfing it. The truck gets riddled with bullets, and Joe and Charles realize it's going to blow. Sly tries to make the men drop their weapons, but only one of the bad guys does so, and a few of Rourke's men. Charles sees another car, drags Sly towards it. Joe runs after them slowly as the truck explodes. Joe gets hit by another fireball because she is slow running and could give the best stuntman a run for their money as she drops, rolls, springs back up, hot wires the car, takes off, and does the Evel Knievel Dukes of Hazzards over train tracks in the parking lot and lands them unscathed into a plot of grass. Rock on, baby. The daring trio arrive at the plantation. Cade and Charlotte heal Joe and Sly. They tell the group what happened and are trying to figure out who or what these guys are. Cass tosses out hunters, and the discussion continues until they realize Charles is not one of them and has that deer in the headlight kind of look in his eyes. Charlotte puts him up in one of her rooms and then comes back down to continue the conversation. Suddenly, Cass begins to sing, 1, 2, hunters coming for you, 3, 4, better shut the door, etc., etc. Joe asks why hunters would come after them, and Cass tells her, you know the answer to that question. Joe says, no, I don't know. That is why I'm asking. Cass repeats herself and points at Joe and Sly. Joe denies being anything special, but finally comes clean that she's kind of like not really a vampire, but it is, but not. Joe goes underground in a safe house provided by her employer. Cass offers Sly the swamp to hide in if needed, and he takes her home before going on his own date. And the others say goodnight, and scene ends.
Here we go. So game picks up about 2 nights after the events of last game. Razabatan. So we will pick up at this point. Actually, Brittany, we're going to pick up with you. Petra has got some stuff that Petra would like to do, and
has to be during the day.
I understand.
Okay.
You know, when we say day usually starts off, and then it goes to nighttime. So that's where we're at right now.
Since when, Jerome? Since when?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for vampires, night is day.
I want some receipts.
Okay. I will get those to you before the game's end.
I'm back.
Welcome.
Yay.
Finally.
Are you ready to do the recap?
No.
That's good because we already did it.
Oh, good.
Trick question. Okay, so just scene.
Huh?
Am I in charge of scene?
Yeah, just starting off, like, what is Petra wanting to do?
Sorry, I just pulled up Twitch, so it took a little bandwidth. Okay. We have a group text, do we? I will text Charlotte and say, what time of day is it right now?
We'll say right now it's the afternoon, so like
Okay.
right 11:30.
I will head to the store, Charlotte's store.
Okay. It is
See,
most certainly
yeah.
open. As is yours,
Char
of
is
course. But...
probably in there at that time of day, checking on things.
Yep.
So
as you come in, there are two people currently hanging out, just kind of browsing, taking in the sights, looking at what there is to see in this ye old occult bookstore, which I think you called Witch Hazel's or W Hazel.
Yeah, it is. Which it's W Hazel for Witch Hazel.
Yeah.
But less witchy for the uncouth people.
Gotcha.
Um,
Just the W, not the itchy.
Yeah. W Hazel books, crystals, and holistic healing.
There we go.
Out of character, we need to do XP.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if you want to do that now or later.
I guess we could do that now. Brittany deflects once again from starting the scene.
Right. Just for that, you got to roll, Brittany. Since you brought it
Yeah,
up.
there you go. You know what? I like Rachel's train of thought.
Do you really want me to roll our XP this month?
Do you really want to roll me?
I mean,
She probably rolls better than me.
You've
Don't
rolled
make
well
me do
for
it.
XP in the past, so you know.
In the recent past?
In the cosmic sense of past.
Yeah, yeah.
You can do it,
Okay.
Brittany. We believe in you.
You're our
roll
only
this
hope.
1d10.
Yes. You are a leader. Tomorrow,
No,
yes.
It's 1d4.
Oh yeah.
1d4 plus 1.
Channel your inner Princess Leia. You are the leader of the rebellion. You are our only hope.
3 points.
Okay. That's not too shabby.
So are we getting Christmas bonuses this year?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to start giving you guys penalties for like delay of game. So just throw the yellow flag on the field.
Yeah.
Delay of game, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
More like
10 points from Gryffindor.
Yeah.
three hunters spawn inside the bookshop and go.
No.
Oh, no.
And as STA. Oh no. Anyways.
That's funny.
Okay, so I will
But
walk
yes.
in and look around for Charlotte.
Presumably Charlotte is there. Probably talking to one of the individuals who is, again, just browsing, just trying to gauge this person's interest to see if they're here to buy anything or they're just, looking around, which happens here actually quite a bit because people will come in and they'll just want to see the novelty of it. Charlotte, by this point, you probably have become fairly decent at vetting them as soon as they walk in.
Oh yeah.
They're either here to, they're Harry Potter fans or something, and they're just wanting to look, or maybe they saw the craft one too many times, and oh geez, they got to practice dragon magic. It sounds so uber cool, and don't really do anything with it. And then you get the people who smell like patchouli come walking in, and they're, you're the people who are really going to buy from you.
And then there's that pesky neighbor.
And the pesky neighbor, yes.
Who wants everything half off because you're neighbors? No, not meaning you. I meant as like an archetype.
Oh, I was talking about me.
Yes. Took me a second. I like my pesky neighbor and will give you stuff for free.
Oh, well, I will pay you a fair price. Okay, So I'm looking for Charlotte.
Charlotte.
What is
So,
Charlotte doing?
boy, this is difficult to start today. Yeah, so Charlotte is there. Second time I've stated this.
She's
She is currently discussing this
schmoozing,
with
a
a
potential
person.
customer.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So if you're busy, then I'll just kind of hang out at the register, I guess, and wait for you to be done.
Is Sly there?
Does Sly have anything else going on at this point?
It depends if we were going to finish the side RP thing that was happening with between Davey and myself.
Presumably that's already done. Keep in mind, side RP is always done by the time game comes. So it's if you guys don't get a chance to finish, then that's its ending point. And
no, that's fine. Okay,
yeah.
Then that would mean that he's probably it's 11:30. You said
yes.
He'd probably be in there by now. Yeah.
Okay. We'll say you are walking in as well, and you are bringing Dunkin' Donuts.
All right. Yep. Walk in with the box, one donut already in hand. Oh, hey there. How's it going?
Business as usual. And yourself? Just coming off of lunch, it looks like?
Well, donut run. Oh, donut?
Sure.
All right.
Thank you. Hey, no hard feelings the other day, right?
Oh, no. Like I said,
okay.
When you change your mind, I'll be available.
Appreciate that.
Sure.
Char finishes talking to the customer and comes over.
Sure.
Oh, Petra. Sly, how are you?
Good.
Hey,
well, there's quite a bit of things that need to be unpacked in the back, but you're welcome to stay if Petra needs something.
Oh.
It's suppose this could be a mixed conversation. And she looks around to make sure.
The back?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Charlotte leads them just to the back where they, hold like the stock room basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fine. Amin has the floor. Obviously, he's watching the rest of the shop, so you guys are good.
Lillian asked me to look in on something, and I thought it might be wise to take some backup. If you're interested and available. We saw some Sabbat graffiti the other night, and she has tracked the message to a storage unit in town. She thinks that they may be holing up during the day, and she asked me to check it out during daylight hours. Do you want to come hunting with me?
Sure.
What's Sabbat graffiti? What does that mean?
Vampires.
Yes. So
bad ones.
Sabbat are I don't know a lot about them. Basically, they're the kind of vampires that don't play well with humans. And in fact, the reason that I left Atlanta was because they took over the city there. And the prince has asked us to, the Camarilla prince, that's They are the opposite faction, the kind that are civilized, that will work with humans and, try to stay hidden and such. The prince has asked us to patrol for signs of Sabbat activity they think is coming south from over the border. So the graffiti apparently shows up as a marker for themselves to communicate certain messages, such as we're in the storage unit, I guess.
Gotcha.
I can't read it, but Lillian could, so that's the job. I don't want to interrupt anything important, but I don't know how many we're talking, so.
So is it normal for you or both of you to work with the vampires in this area? Is that normally what happens in Savannah?
If we have to.
It's a fairly new thing. I have some history with not these particular ones, but in exchange for certain protections, they've acknowledged our autonomy and are dealing with us more or less as equals. So in exchange, I mean, it's not good news for anybody for Sabbat to be hanging around the city. So I just see it as an extension of protecting ourselves.
If these Sabbat were to stay, what would you expect them to do? You're making it sound like they're the opposite. Like what? They're just monsters, like in the movies, or what?
Essentially, yes. They kill indiscriminately. They make a mess. They expose other vampires' presence. I mean, they expose the presence of vampires to the public, which is, I guess that's rule number one for the other kind. Gosh, texting.
Yeah. They also could threaten us because the Inquisition already knows we're here.
That's true.
If the Sabbat come here, that will expose us further.
Right. Awareness of the presence of vampires attracts hunters. We all know that that's not preferential.
Makes sense. So the sooner these Sabbat are dealt with, the less heat we'll get from these Deus Vult religious cult weirdos.
Presumably. Yes. And if we can do something about them during the day where they're weaker and inactive, it would be easier for us.
So that part is true then. Daylight's bad for vampires.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right.
They also may have human servants. So
they're like vassals.
To watch out for that.
Is there a way to tell by sight or anything that they're these
Depends
vassals?
on the vampire.
I understand that it can be seen in auras, but that's not a skill that I have.
All right.
They do have a tendency to exhibit superhuman strength, but obviously that's not something you could just tell by looking at them.
Right. We'll have to carry around a weight set. I take it these vassals, their servants, they can withstand daylight. They walk around and...
They're essentially human.
Okay. Interesting.
Any other questions?
I take it the goal is if we see them, we're fine with outright destroying them, or are we trying to make them just leave?
I don't think they would leave willingly. I mean, the vampires. So
Right.
essentially, yes.
So then what kills them? What's true, what isn't?
Fire is one of their weaknesses.
I mean, if you can do enough damage, they tend to not walk away. Sunlight, fire, as Charlotte said.
Fire bad. All right.
Um, beheading, I think.
Staking? Does that work?
Staking only immobilizes them.
But if they're immobilized, then we can more easily deal with them.
That is true. Some vampires are very fast, though, so keep that in mind.
Is this you said they've been tracked to a storage site. Do you know if it's very active? Are we going to be amongst the public?
I don't know. And
I guess we'll have to find out when we go.
I don't know how big it is, and I don't know what unit they may be in, so it might be wise for us to split up as well.
All right.
I mean, maybe not wise, but prudent. I don't know. We'll have to see when we get there, I guess.
Are we three the entire fighting force, or are we?
I was just
getting
thinking
more?
maybe. Do you think Cade might be available
I don't
and
see
or
why
interested?
not.
In, I don't know how he feels about vampire hunting.
I can give him a call. I pull out my phone and I call Cade.
Okay. As Bat Metal might say, boop, 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 boop.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I am be angerous now. You throwing rock at me.
Hello, Cade. How are you?
Hello. Yes. Hello. I was just getting some exercise in. How can I help you?
I was wondering if you'd like to go vampire hunting.
Oh, are we in open revolt?
Oh, no. I can tell you more details if you meet me at my bookstore.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Yes, I shall get dressed and bring all my accoutrement. That's French, and I will be on my way. See you soon.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Hangs up.
Cade would love to.
That's not what I said.
Excellent. While we're waiting, I'm going to see what I can find out about this. So, Jerome, I'm going to Google it, kind of get a look at it on Google Maps, see if there's any indication of like hours that it's busiest.
Oh,
and
sure.
see how many units it has, etc.
1 second. Okay. So I gave you the actual building last time.
Did you?
I did.
I have no recollection of this.
Oh, by gosh, by golly.
It's actually a Kmart.
Yep. Ah, gamers. I'm gonna have to find it again. At this point.
Quick, somebody stall for time.
And
No, ask for XP.
Oh no!
Yeah, remember that
Touchdown.
yellow flag?
I'll
I was
sing
gonna
with
throw
you,
down?
Davey.
I'm Bredit.
Brit it.
It's
yeah,
like rain.
I can't find it right now. I'll have to look it up later. But yeah, so go ahead and it's give me intelligence and investigations because you're difficulty 5 because you're just googling. I know how to read you googly.
3 successes.
All right. Yeah, I mean it's not hard to find the place. It is a known public building. And usually time frame wise when it's busiest is about somewhere between like 2 and 4.
Okay.
So you're not quite at the peak hours at this point.
Does it like about how many units would we is it internal or external?
They are internal.
Oh, okay. So, it's
it's
inside.
basically, yeah, it's like again I have to find it again, but it's like one of those buildings like that was specifically built for storage. So it's got like 2 levels and you walk in the inside and go from there.
Okay. So there's probably going to be cameras too then. Well, we'll have to see what we can do about that.
So
Okay, so I will
Well, we
I will
can
eat a donut
see if we can.
to pass the time.
I'm sorry, you're doing what?
Eating a donut.
Sorry, there we go. It is stop in store. See, I told you I had that on there. I can't take you anywhere.
Sorry.
Okay, so that is it right there. Doink. All right. Okay. Wait, that's not it. That couldn't have been it. Was it? I guess it was. Okie doke, yeah.
Was it the one on Limerick Street?
Yes, that's it. So it's actually 4 stories.
Great.
I will get you guys the copy. And oh, thank you. You post the address in there. There's a visual of the outside. Posted that in the Facebook chat.
Okay. Okay, so I guess we're just waiting for Cade.
Sure. A scene transition. I mean, you guys are just waiting around. There are donuts to partake of. At this point, the other 2 that were in the store have wandered out to do their thing. Cade, you come pulling up to this. Have you? I don't think you've ever been to this store, have you?
No, I have been inside.
Okay.
That's where I first met Sly, and he looked odd to me in my eyes. Yeah, is it all right if I brought Nigel?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, seems appropriate. Get some hands-on training.
Sure.
But yes, I come in and I'm like, yes, hello. Oh, I brought donuts too.
Copycat.
I didn't know. I thought this is what you're supposed to do when you arrive at a place to meet with friends. You bring food, you bring donuts.
Yeah, Nigel's like, you don't mind if I check to see what they have, do you?
In the store or the donuts?
No, it's donuts.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
So he walks over with a little spring in his step.
And I'm like, what's so bad about my donuts? So yes, so what are we doing?
Lillian found or Lillian says that there is some Sabbat vampires holed up in a storage unit building, and that she asked me to check it out during the day, see if we can find them and or take care of them. So we don't know how many there are. We don't know what unit they might be in. We don't know if they have human servants monitoring the place. So I just thought it would be prudent to take some backup. And here we are.
Okay. Jerome, do I know what the Sabbat are with based on my history, or would I need to roll something for it?
Do you have any kindred lore?
No, I do have occult.
Okay. You can certainly roll the occult, but it's going to be very difficult. It's where you guys are going to want to start branching out, getting your appropriate lores as, you verify certain info.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll an intelligence and occult. Difficulty for specifics, 9.
While he is going through his memory library, I pull out a potion of resilience and I hand it to Sly.
Okay.
I was like, this is the same tonic that counteracts pain.
Ah.
Might keep it on hand.
Right. Will do. Thank you. Pockets that.
Okay. I got 1 success.
Okay. You know only the barest of information. And it's very much like a dummy's guide to American politics. You understand that there's the Camarilla, and they're one type of vampire.
Yes.
And that there's a Sabbat, and that they're another type of vampire.
Okay.
One is more monarchy based. The other is more religious based.
Okay. And the Sabbat, would I have any special inkling towards their, how militant, or would they be considered evil? Are they a scourge?
You unfortunately don't have enough detail to make that.
Okay.
Just the very bare bones.
Okay. Then yes, I admittedly don't know much about, haven't had to hunt too many vampires in the past, but, or at least I didn't bother doing any reading about them. Is there anything you know about this group? Any abilities they might have, traps they might set, things to be on the lookout for?
They don't really care for they don't really have any respect for humans as a tendency. They don't tend to care about staying hidden. So the vampires that we work with, their rule number 1 is to avoid attracting attention from regular humans and authorities and such. This kind doesn't particularly care. I know that they travel in groups and tend to be less human looking.
Okay, so most definitely monsters then.
That's my experience with them.
Okay, well, that makes me feel a lot better.
Jerome, would I know that I wouldn't know that they shared disciplines. Okay.
You have a very bent, warped view of the Sabbat based upon what little time you spent in the Camarilla.
Okay.
In fact, you might even think they're devil worshippers.
I mean,
that
Am I wrong?
You would not be surprised how many people who predominantly play Camarilla LARP, as soon as you bring up the Sabbat, they're like, "Oh, aren't those guys that worship the devil?" Yes, that's exactly what they did, I guess.
Okay. They are definitely bad.
Okay.
So, yes, that's any other questions?
Yes. So in terms of our plan of attack, do we have anything set up? Do we have entry point? Do we have a way into the building, or?
I assume we can just go in.
It is a
Um,
storage place. If there's somebody at the front, I can walk in, talk to him, see what's going on. If these Sabbat have these servants, it would make sense if one of their servants was the one who's at the front, like minding the place, because that would
could
be
very well be.
what I'd do if I wanted a guard, you know?
It seems some long-term plan, but I mean, I don't know how
Oh, do
long
they
they've
not
been
do
here,
that?
so well, I mean, they could be thinking ahead, or I suppose they could get there and decide to ghoul the human in charge right then. I suppose that's a possibility.
Ghoul them. That's what they're called then? Ghouls?
They're called ghouls.
Ah,
Sorry.
got it.
Yes.
No, it's fine. Well, if we do find the ghouls, are we treating them as equals to the Sabbat when it comes to dealing with them?
Oh, yes, very good question.
I think they probably could be rehabilitated, but they are going to be very protective of their masters.
Right.
So I would prefer for us to not kill them. If possible.
If we were to slay their masters, would the grip on their thralls, would it slip?
It would, to a degree.
Oh, interesting.
Does this place have cameras that you know of? Does that happen to say that on the internet?
Does it say whether there are cameras, Jerome?
Oh, it's a storage area. There's 100% going to be cameras.
Okay. So maybe that's something that we can take care of at the front desk too. I don't know.
Yeah, any of you have experience with dealing with that type of technology? I'm not that big on that, so.
What, cameras?
Yes. Nigel, would you have any special knowledge about security systems and hacking things?
Sort of.
I could try as well.
I used cameras quite a bit, for extreme sports. Filming ourselves, sort of thing.
I haven't had to deal with a whole lot of camera stuff.
Well, maybe like you said, it's at the front and we can, I don't know, figure it out or something. Right?
Right.
Because, I mean, we literally can't do this with the cameras rolling. I mean, that'd be terrible. Well, unless we just destroyed any cameras that were watching the area. I guess we'll figure out when I get there.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. This is the whole group then?
This is us. Well, I guess 5.
Oh, right. Right.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Good point.
Okay. And here we go.
Okay, so you guys taking your own vehicles, all piling into, well, can't really all pile into one.
Right.
Nigel and I can follow along if you give us the address.
I will give you the address.
I can take the rest.
Okay. Okay. Well, the address has been posted into the Facebook chat. So if anybody wants to Google that and take a look at it, you can. So obviously you drive across town to that location. But pull back up here myself. There we go. So obviously it is a bit of a drive from where you were at, hitting the freeway, the Harry S. Truman Parkway, making your way around, having to battle some traffic. The location, however, has it is a store. Was store and what again?
Stop and Store.
Stop and Store. So the Stop and Store building has a little parking lot out in front of it. It has several smaller shops nearby. There's a batter's box, which is like a small little sports complex next to it. There is a spice store called Mo Hada Mo Betta.
Ah.
And then adjacent to that is a Whole Foods market as well as a PetSmart. So in this particular area, it's actually, the way it's kind of set up is the storage building is actually a little secluded behind the two bigger buildings as you come off of Galway Street and then onto Limerick. So I'm basically everything for this particular building is behind the larger ones. There's trees that line the back of this particular building, as well as quite a bit of trees to the south. You do have a little bit of a view of the frontage road as well as the parkway that is a little east of your position, but otherwise this is where it's at. There's only a couple cars parked out here in the parking lot currently. It's pretty quiet, pretty slow.
Well, Sly, shall I go in with you, or do you wish to go in and stake it out yourself?
Do any of us have qualities that let us see or hear or sense different beings? Like looking at someone and telling that they're not human.
Excuse me. I am able to see through the vampiric ability obfuscate and chemistry. Yes. So this to that point, but I can't see everything. Just if something is using magic in order to hide itself, I can notice it. Or vampire magic, I guess, specifically.
Well, then how about I take Cade with, we go in first, talk to whoever's there, if there is, see what we can gather, see if we can find out where the cameras are, and then you two come in about 30 seconds or a minute after we come in. That way it doesn't look like we're all just together in one strange group of four.
5, sir.
Yes, sounds good.
All right.
But he just
Yeah.
kind of like raises his hand, but then just goes with it.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Sorry. All right. Cade, you ready?
Yes. I already have an idea of what I could be saying. Why I want to come and take a look around. I will be a reenactor. I have various costumes and armors that need to be stored in certain in the right temperatures to keep them from rusting, and I want to make sure that the facility is a good place for me to leave my my sizable collection of armor and weapons.
Perfect. All right. Let's head on in.
Okay.
So as you guys walk in, there's only 2 people in here. There's obviously a guy at the he's a guy a little on the scrawny side, kind of country. You know, he's got a hat. He's wearing a hat that is from the company, but it's, you know, adjacent a little bit on his head. His shirt's a little baggy. You know, wearing some pants, or denim pants, I should say. He does have what appears to be like a loop that has some gloves that he can put on in case he need, you know, fingerless gloves, in case he needs to move something or whatnot. And he does have a back brace on, but it's currently open because he's not doing any heavy lifting or anything right now.
Okay.
And he is talking to a guy who has kind of short, kind of brownish black hair, very, very white face makeup on with kind of like heavy black and red coloring around his eyes with some black markings kind of coming up around the side. He's in black denim jeans, and he has a makeshift. Basically what it does is, like, a lot of guys who want like more of an open air basketball tank top will do is they'll cut a shirt off at the sleeves and then they slice it open partly at the middle. So it's basically a shirt, but it really hangs very loosely on either side. And he's got kind of that going. The shirt on the front says Pepsi Phil. You know, for this guy, and he has a couple boxes right next to him. Looks like he you know, had with him, and he, as you guys come walking in, he's taking a picture with the guy behind the counter, and he says, "Okay, let us smile. Very nice, very evil." And the guy is like, "Yeah," sort of thing, and you know, he kind of does like one of these, you know, like gestures fantastically, almost like he's casting a spell or something weird, and they take a selfie, and he says, where did it go? Here we go. He ends up saying something effective like, he pulls out from one of the boxes that's partly open, and he sets what appears to be like a bag of coffee. You have to grind it up or whatnot, but it says on the coffee bag, it says Danhausen Coffeehausen.
Okay.
And I have posted the picture of what he looks like in the Facebook chat.
Oh, wow. Okay. Does he look familiar at all? Like, has he been on billboards or on television, on the internet, anything?
You know, I'll give you a chance of possibly having seen him. Why don't you give me an intelligence and investigations check?
Okay.
Should I try and make this roll, or is there any? Just looking at this person, I'm like, oh, this is not what I was imagining at all.
If you watch a lot of TV, I will let you make the roll.
I would say perhaps Cade watches a lot of TV in order to get the gist on what the kids are doing.
Okay, then go ahead and make the roll.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So 2 successes.
Okay.
Okay, with intelligence and investigation, or wits?
Intelligence and investigations.
Okay. Difficulty 6.
Difficulty 6, yeah.
One success.
Okay. So Sly, you have since you have been. This was in the time frame where you didn't have a job, so you were watching a lot of stuff on television because you were bored off your rocker. You
Right.
happen to have caught an episode of All Elite Wrestling, and you recognize him as a professional wrestler
Okay. And
named Danhausen.
Danhausen. Okay.
And in fact, when you you ended up spotting him like in the middle of a match, and for some reason like tequila came on during the match, and so he started doing the Pee Wee Herman dance, like right in the middle of the ring for some reason.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I lean over a little bit to Cade and go, "Oh, yeah, he's a pro wrestler. It's Danhausen."
Oh, Danhausen. What is a pro wrestler?
Oh, it's wrestling, but
Professional?
yeah, it's mainly staged. It's not like the stuff you see at the Olympics. You know, it's more for show. It's
Oh.
very dramatic.
So it's not Greco-Roman or sumo.
No.
Okay, he's far too thin to be a sumo wrestler.
Right. I mean, you see his getup. That's a bunch of them. You know, it's all peacocking. It's showing themselves off, getting the audience involved. You know.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
So he's a celebrity.
Yeah. Surprised he's at a place like this.
Okay, should we get him to sign something? Would that be a good...
Are you into... Well, no, you're not into pro wrestling. I mean, it's up to you.
No, it might be appropriate to in this moment. Are they just watching us talk?
No, they're talking amongst themselves at this point. Clearly, the guy behind the counter is actually a very big professional wrestling fan.
Okay. I would like to, if possible, I want to be using my clear-sighted ability, the one that lets me see past obfuscate, chemistry, and other related disciplines or gifts.
Sure.
Okay. Let's see. It says, with a perception and alertness roll against the opposing power level plus 1. Let's see, is that 1 or 3? Plus 3. So.
Okay. So there's a 0, so just get a 3 or better.
Okay. Let's see. Alertness, perception, okay. It's difficulty 6, I'm assuming.
No, difficulty 3.
Oh, difficulty 3? Oh, well. With that roll, 5 successes.
Okay. You are 100% certain that there's nothing here that's messing with your vision or hidden in some sort of supernatural way.
Okay. I turn on the siphon filter, like night vision goggle sound.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. And I guess we should approach and see about a tour of the facility.
Yeah, let's do it. So we walk up to him, and Sly's going to be like, "Hey guys, sorry for interrupting. Just wondering if we could get some info about your storage units."
Oh, the new guy Interrupthausen.
Oh,
You're Danhausen, right?
Yes, very nice, very evil. Will it take picture? We'll give you a good deal on Coffeehausen.
You know what?
And this is how he talks, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is all sorts of fun. Yeah. You know what? Let's take a picture. And he gets out his phone and tries to do the whole selfie thing with him.
Okay. So sure, he gets out there. He gets into like an overly cheesy pose, throws his arm across Sly, and he says, "All right, at the count of 3, say Cheesehausen."
1, 2, 3. Yeah, Cheesehausen. Do the
Click.
thing.
And he offers a bag of his full roasted coffee for $10.
Ew.
Why not?
Yeah.
She hands over the 10.
Okay. Oh, excellent. So he rummages through, gets one out of the open box, and hands one to you. one Danhausen Coffeehausen for you, new friend.
Fantastic.
I think at this point, Shar, Petra, and the apprentice comes in. The squire.
The apprentice, piss boy.
I was just thinking this might be a good distraction for us to slip in.
Sure. What we need is a distraction. So we get naked? No. I get naked? No. The channel Firefly. So while you guys are doing that, Charlotte, Petra, and Nigel come walking in. So you obviously exchange some money and some coffee, and the guy, at this point, he grabs the couple of boxes he has and walks out.
Well, that was fun. Okay. Excuse me, sir. Would we be able to get a tour of your storage facilities, please?
And so he kind of looks at you a little funny and he says, "We don't do no tours here, so sorry.
Oh,
That's
well,
not how that works. It's just a bunch of lockers."
would you be able to get information about the storage facility itself? Do you have like a pamphlet? Would you be willing to talk with us about it?
Oh yeah, we got one of those. So he just reaches behind the counter and pulls back, basically one of those clear plastic displays that has several flyers in it. Just sets it back up there. He cleared it off at one point, probably because he was dealing with Danhausen.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. And then I will start asking him a bunch of questions about, so what temperature are the lockers kept in? How big are they? I have a sizable collection of, I myself, I travel, I do the Ren Fair scene. I have a lot of armor, but Savannah's a place I come to frequently, and it would be great if I could leave stuff here. But I need to make sure that if I leave it here, it will be in a climate-controlled location so that it will prevent rusting. Could I perhaps bend your ear about the facility itself? Would you mind if I ask you a series of, I'm very sure, annoying and technical questions?
He says, "I suppose that's all right. Most of that's answered there on the flyer, though."
Excellent.
In the middle of that entire thing, Sly is going to take the opportunity of that distraction to like just kind of start walking around within the building. I take it because like this is a lot of inner like storage space area. Okay, yeah.
Yep,
So he's going to walk down the halls and stuff.
Okay, so why don't you just give me a Dex and Stealth check, difficulty 8.
Okay.
Because you're pretty much right next to him. Not impossible because he's partly distracted, but
Yeah.
Go ahead and give it a roll.
3 successes.
Nice.
Woo!
So you are successful in slipping out.
And then when he gets a decent distance away and he's amongst a lot of the containers, he'll try out his supernatural awareness to see if he can get any pings.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and give me a roll? Oh, give me a roll. Where the buffalo roam. And while he's doing that, Charlotte and Petra, outside of eating, what are you doing?
I would also like to just walk in.
Yeah, you already have at this point.
I mean, like walk in.
Oh, you mean walk into the, like, follow Sly, basically.
Yes.
Sure, okay. Do the same thing then. Difficulty 7, because you're a part of a different group. You're not, like, directly on top of them.
How does my arcane work into this?
Your arcane, I can't remember if it lowers. I need to take a look real quick. I can't remember if it lowers the difficulty or if it just adds to your stealth check.
I also have the innocent merit, if that helps.
Not in particular.
Okay.
It just means he's probably not going to assume something nefarious if you get caught. You know what? Where am I at? Here, sorcerer. Chapter 3. Here we go. Probably not gonna
Did you
be
say
there.
wits and stealth?
I said Dex and Stealth.
Dex and stealth.
Yes. Okay, so no, it's not there. I'm going to pull up like Mage or something. Hold on 1 second. Don't make your roll yet. Did I? I bet you I put it in a different folder, didn't I?
Woodrum, I would have assumed that I'd had like my like kind of bag with me. Is that okay or no?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. The one I keep my sword in.
Right.
The dabbin of stabbin. King Arthur named it. The guy's weird. You guys would have liked him though.
Okay.
Apparently, it's good to be the king.
Yeah.
Oh, I just can't wait to be king.
You know, he sang that a lot. It was really weird. Like coming into the future and then learning that, oh, that's a song. Like, wait a minute. They stole King Arthur's favorite
There
song.
is the background. Doggone it.
How dare they? I believe that Disney actually is some sort of monster, some sort of eldritch beast from another time.
That would be fun.
Yeah. Or perhaps Disney is actually Morgan Le Fay. Oh. You would not have liked her.
Disney is actually the secret behind Pentex.
I knew it.
That would explain a lot.
Yes.
Okay, so here we go. Arcane. It's essentially cloaking. Bending reality, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so it's going to add extra dots to your all stealth checks.
Add how many extra dots? Oh,
I don't
just
know.
my
How much do you have in
whatever
Arcane?
whatever level I have.
There could be only one.
I only have one. In fact.
Yeah, so that would be one extra die.
Nailed it.
Nice.
Okay, difficulty 5, you said?
No, it's actually difficulty
7, you said.
7, yes.
Four successes.
All right. So you utilize the fact that there are more people in here and kind of slink on past and follow Sly. Anyone else doing anything?
Shar spritzes with one of her potions.
Okay.
It's called the perfume of longing. So basically it like ups my appearance and my charisma by 2 points.
Oh my.
And I I also have the merit enchanting voice,
which lowers your speaking difficulty. Good grief. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're poison ivy. Okay.
Pretty much at that point.
Uma Thurman.
So I go up to the counter after doing that and ask for a tour.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your charisma and expression with the so it would be difficulty 6. It's actually difficulty 4.
Okay.
What is your appearance right now?
2.
Okay, so you look like a 4 right now.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, and you said charisma and
Expression.
expression. Okay.
Is this going to work on me?
Yes.
Yes.
No. Okay.
Kate says, I would love to show you around.
Okay.
So, Cade, why don't you go ahead and roll a willpower check?
Okay. All right. How do I do that again? I'm sorry. It's been a minute.
What do you have for willpower?
Let's see. I have 5 unspent willpower.
Okay, so you have 5 dice. You essentially have 5 dice to roll.
Okay. Difficulty 6 or
Yes.
okay.
No. Yes, still difficulty 6. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
That is 3 successes, Jerome.
Okay, 3 successes total. Okay, dope.
I got 3 as well.
Okay, so you already know Charlotte, obviously, but as she approaches, there is that, like, all of a sudden there's careless whisper in the background for like no particular reason. With the sexy saxophone, na 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 na, as she comes walking up, and she looks like magnetic compared to what you last saw her as. Like, maybe she did something different with her hair. Maybe it's the fluorescent lighting that's that's working out really well.
Maybe she's born with it.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
She was always lovely, but now it appears she's wearing a suit of chainmail. I'm like, oh. Oh, Father, help me.
So she ends up asking, and like, even though, although you're not like overtly reacting, the fact that she's speaking like everything about her is just, it's like, wow, like, how did I miss this sort of thing, So you asked for the tour. By the way, Sly and Petra have already walked through, and he's like, "Oh, how you doing, girl?"
I have a question. How is Nigel reacting to this?
Oh yeah, he'll
Same.
need to roll too.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, all eyes on me. Pretty much is what's happening to Charlotte.
I'm glamoring.
Where'd that spotlight come from?
Yeah. So I mean, he's just drinking in your visage.
And she asks, may we have a tour of the facilities?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I don't see a problem with that. Just give me a second here. And he walks over to the front of the door and flips it around. Says it's closed, locks it, and puts up a little be right back sign, sort of thing. And he says, "So, what brings you to Savannah?"
Oh, the Ren Fair, Oh, you met her, sorry.
Yeah.
I live here. Just looking for some extra storage.
Oh, you do? Oh, well, we got lots of storage here. I'm happy to show you whatever you might need. Single wides, double wides.
All of it, please.
Oh. Feeling a little bit like
Let's play it up. Woo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Feeling a little bit of a third wheel here.
And so, yeah, and then at that point, Nigel leans in and he says, well, that's kind of how I feel often at times, sir.
Oh, yes. I'm as lost as you are most of the time, Nigel, but yes, but
is it just me, or does she look more hippie?
Hippie? No, she's wearing a suit of chainmail. What are you talking about?
He's like, no, I don't mean hippie as in like peace, love, and I mean like she's...
Oh, like the hips. Oh,
yes.
Yes, she has become a bit more pendulum-like, yes.
Is that what you would say?
They're swinging back and forth, yes.
Yes. Okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one that noticed.
Yes, yeah. I haven't noticed this before. I need to be more astute. Maybe I'm losing my touch. Perhaps
well, you're a knight. Aren't you supposed to like write a poem for her or something?
Well, isn't she married?
And he kind of like does like one of these numbers. He's like, I don't see a ring on a finger. This is not a Beyonce moment.
It might be a bad idea to mix romance and work. At the very least, I'm going to tag along on this trip. How about you sit yourself down at that computer and get to maybe playing around with the cameras, maybe turning some off.
Are you sure it can't come with?
Well, how? If at all possible, if this turns into something more, I would prefer that the cameras be off. How about you do that and then quickly come and join us?
Okay, I think I can do that.
Okay. Yes. Anything that can give us an edge. I don't know if this is going to be popping off now or later, but if it's happening now, I would greatly appreciate.
No, it's going to be later.
What do you mean?
Huh? What do you mean?
What do you mean?
No, what do you mean?
I'm saying in case something happens with the thing we've been sent here to do. Oh, I understand now. Listen, Nigel. Listen, Nigel, here's the thing. I understand. I completely do. Every night has been there, but not on the job. Keep yourself focused.
Of course, sir.
Yes.
I'll get right to it. And he like fumbles his way around the countertop to go take care of it.
Yes.
Okay, so hold that thought at this point. So Cassandra, what are you doing at this point? It's midday.
I think she would just be arriving at her shop.
Okay.
Perhaps she has an appointment with a client.
Okay, so just doing the daily, tending to customers or whatnot. Okay, not
Yeah,
not
she
a
has
problem.
a reading. Yeah, she'll just do a couple of readings.
Okay, alrighty. So Charles, you end up getting a call.
Okay. What time is it?
It is noon.
Oh, okay. All right. This is Charles.
Charles, this is Kieran. Glad that you could pick up.
Oh, Mr. Rourke, how are you doing?
I am doing quite all right. I wanted to speak to you about the events of the other night, if you have a few moments.
Sure. Where would you like to meet?
He says there is a. He says, why don't we just meet at Hertz Donuts across town?
Is Jerome
Hertz
having a
Donuts.
craving?
Hertz Donuts. Excellent.
Are we sponsored by a donut shop tonight?
We are. Hertz Donuts, yeah.
Someone call Krispy Kreme.
They're
All
so
right,
good.
Mr. Rourke, I will see you there.
He says, why don't you bring Joe?
Oh, that's going to be a nighttime meeting. All right.
Now, why is that going to be a nighttime meeting?
She is busy during the day, and she will only be available in the evening time. So let me go ahead and pencil you in here. Let's say out of character. What time does the sun go down? It's winter, so probably a lot earlier. But
yeah, so 5:30 ish.
Okay, all right. Let's
Probably
make
closer
it
to 5:30.
Okay, let's make it for 6:30 then at Hertz Donuts. That will be perfect. Does that work for you, Mr. Rourke?
I suppose I had hoped to conduct this earlier, but I will see you then.
Have a good day. And Charles is going to hang up the telephone, text Joe. Joe, Mr. Rourke would like to meet us at Hertz Donuts at 6:30. Please be there. Thanks. Bye.
She is asleep, so no
Yeah.
response.
She'll get that. She'll get that at the appropriate time. Other than that, I think that's it for Charles. He's probably. Is there any shooting going on? Any daytime stuff? Production-wise?
Not as of this point. There will be some in a few hours. So you'll
Okay.
probably have to take a momentary break to have this meeting and go do the thing. But all you have to do is name drop, and it'll be fine.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. All right.
Okay, so we'll get you guys in a second then. All right, so back to the storage unit. So Sly and Charlotte, who have already snuck in,
Petra?
you've got the, or not Charlotte, sorry, Petra.
I'm gonna catch up to Sly and I'm gonna show him the picture that I took of the graffiti on the sign
Okay.
the other night, and I'll say maybe they would have marked the storage unit with something similar to this.
Got it.
Okay, and
yeah.
Sly, what'd you roll?
I got 3 successes.
Okay. You do feel the presence of something supernatural here.
Okay.
Is it me?
It's hard to locate it outside of the fact that you're almost on top of it.
Okay. All right. So then he'd be like, yeah, and there is something here. It's not just us. So you might be onto something. When we've been walking down these halls, like, can we see where the security cameras would be?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like at they have cameras at most of the end cap rows, and then they usually, like, if they have one that sits roughly in the middle in between them, and it's pretty much the same for all the hallways here.
Okay. Does it look like they're all static, or do they move around where there might be like empty vision
The one
spots?
that's in the middle is hard to say because it's in a bubble.
Okay.
The others are all like fixed, fixed on viewing one, like that section of the hall or whatever have you.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So then he's like, yeah, and I mean, they've got a good lockdown on all of the camera angles, it looks like. So do you have any idea if they've been able to deal with that up front?
I don't know. Did I hear them talking as I slipped in?
A little bit, yeah.
I think Nigel was going to handle that.
Okay.
So let's I mean, it can't hurt to start looking around, but let's
Sure.
not do anything for a few minutes.
Sure. Yeah. Looking for symbols. Here we go.
Okay, so go ahead and roll perception and investigation. Difficulty 7.
Three successes.
2.
So how many we have? We got 2 and what?
3.
3. Okay. Okay, so you guys are taking. You guys are kind of walking at a brisk pace to try and cover some territory, because obviously there's several floors, trying to find it. And then eventually you guys hear the door come open, with the guy at the front counter talking to Charlotte, and presumably the others are with her. Dale, you end up finding something that doesn't look exactly like that tagging, but pretty close. Right in between two doors on the bottom floor.
Okay. Goes ahead and takes out his smartphone and like just kind of acts like he's looking through it, but like switches to camera and like takes a picture of that so that he gets a clear shot of it.
It looks like somebody may have taken like a sharp metal object or something and kind of cut into the metal frame there, and chipping away at some of the paint.
Okay. So then once I have that, I go ahead and text that to Petra, that image.
Okay. She's right next to you, but yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought, okay. So then,
She has a
like
copy.
take a picture. Yeah, now she does. And then, turn to her and be like, check that out down there. Looks pretty similar.
Yeah, it does. So Petra will quietly go up to. You said it's between two doors.
Mhm.
She'll press her ear to one of the doors
Okay.
just to see if
Sure. I can tell you
there's
that
anything.
you're not really going to hear anything because this place is climate controlled. So there is obviously a low amount of white noise because of the air conditioner units keeping everything at a nice cool temperature here.
Okay. Never mind then.
No problem. It wasn't a bad idea. It's just this is a nicer storage unit, so it's going to be
Okay.
hard to pick that up.
So I guess let's earmark that and just do a quick survey of the rest of the place, just to make sure that's the only one.
Do the rest of us see that they were taking pictures and focusing on that area?
Not at this point. He's starting you off, taking you the long way around.
Of course.
For obvious reasons, to show you like all of the locker types and whatnot.
Hmm.
Okay. You might also to the other team see if
You kind
just so
of
that
broke
they-
up there, Brittany. What was that?
You might also I'm talking to Sly.
Yeah.
You might also text that to the other team.
Right.
It has the numbers on it, right?
Oh, you mean for the doors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a picture of that. Yeah.
Okay. The unit
Got
numbers.
Yeah.
So I go ahead and text a copy of that to Char. I don't think I have Cade's number.
So
Okay.
Char's phone kind of chimes, for a second. You're a blink. As an incoming
take
text
a look
comes
at
in.
it.
And so the guy's like, "Oh, so did you get a text from a boyfriend?"
No, not a boyfriend. But I am curious about the lockers, the larger ones, possibly with a number, and I read off the number.
Okay, so he says, I think those are taken up at this point, but those are some of our bigger lockers. They take up, like 5x10s or whatever whatever the size is. But yeah, you can fit almost a 1 bedroom in those. They're some of our biggest units.
That is very large.
Why, yes, it is, ma'am.
And
Upon hearing that, would I be able to, like, surmise that maybe that's where I should go? Unless you, Sean, do you feel like you have this well in hand, or do you want me to stick with you? Or...
He says, no, I'll, if you don't mind, I'll stick with the tour.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Give you two a chance to talk. Yes. Yes. Be a gentleman, of course, and then I'll. Yeah. So if you don't mind, I'm curious still about. Yes, and I'll just go.
Okay.
I will be distraction.
Cade zips up his leather jacket. So he just it's like, well, sorry, boys, we didn't need you today, but next time. Continues to try to find the number that he heard.
His nipples are poking out of his leather coat.
Yeah. Well, not anymore. Stand down. Stand down, boys.
Cut leather.
Yes, you
Wow.
didn't know, but you didn't realize, but my outfit has been designed by Joel Schumacher.
Oh, yes. The Batman outfits.
Yes.
Okay, well, so Charlotte is doing a good job of drawing aggro at this point. So you catch up to Sly and Petra. It's not very hard. I mean, you can already look at the numbers and tell that whatever they sent to you was on the bottom floor.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of, kind of briskly walking down one of the side hallways until you spot Sly and Petra. So
okay. I'm also going to text Nigel and let him know Charlotte is working, or Charlotte is continuing the tour. I am heading to and give him the numbers so he knows where to meet me.
I'm working it.
Yes, whatever it is, she is working it.
Yep. So he ends up texting you the picture of, or he ends up texting you an emoji of a peach, and then sends
Yes.
LOL, and then sends a thumbs up.
Okay. Yes. And I'll message. Yes, Georgia is known for its peaches. How are the cameras doing? And then I'll continue moving.
He says everything's fine,
definitely-
wonderful. How are
Definitely
you?
focused on the cameras.
Yeah.
Right. And I'll say, good, keep it up. And then, well, not that. Keep working on the cameras, turning them off. And then
So
join us.
he sends a red-faced emoji, laugh out loud. Got it, boss.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. I am such a good boss. And then I move on to join the group.
As long as he doesn't send an eggplant emoji.
Don't it descend, aubergine.
All right, so you catch up to Sly and Petra, no problem.
Right. Hello.
Hey there. So
Yes. Quick update. Charlotte is leading the clerk person whose name I can't remember on a very merry chase. Did you read? Has she always been that attractive?
What?
I always thought she was lovely, but suddenly she just—I don't know. It was weird. She's going on a long tour, which is helping us out. Nigel is working on the cameras, so hopefully those will be done very shortly. Is this the place?
well, this is where we've found the marking, or at least one that looks similar.
Okay.
Jerome, have we had a chance to walk around the rest of the area?
I mean,
If there are any other...
you can. I mean, you can. Yeah, you're not finding anything
Okay.
else outside of the out of the ordinary.
Okay.
Some of the lockers have locks, some of them don't. The ones that don't, obviously, are available for rent. This
Okay,
one,
so these two-
both of them have locks.
Are they just like padlocks?
Mhm.
I don't have any skill with lock picking, but a good sword couldn't hurt.
Jerome, in terms of the storage facilities themselves, do they all appear to be identical, like in terms of size?
Not all of them. Along this row, all of them are larger.
Okay. Is there one that seems to be about close to the ones that we're looking at in terms of size that does not have a padlock on it?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would like to go over to that one and lift up or open the door. So I would like to see what the interior of this looks like.
Sure. You just lift it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's empty and open.
Okay. But it's just one big solid room?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. So this lets us know what the room might look like when we get into it.
Are we ready to open door number 1?
Well, that depends on the cameras, right?
I'll text Nigel. Are the cameras down?
He ends up sending you a GIF that has like a woman walking past and it says "Lady in Red."
Looks over at his phone, seeing that.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna hold it up
what,
to. I'm gonna message again. Like, is that a yes? Is the lady in red affirmative? Is she a good hacker? Is that what you sent this to me?
So he just sends 2 thumbs up. He says, "Yeah, you're good to go."
Oh, okay. Then yes, apparently the lady in red is a good hacker, and the cameras are down.
Great.
Okay, I'm going to draw a kukri out of my sweater. And
Which, FYI, looks very weird because there's no way that kukri could have actually fit
Mhm.
in her cardigan sweater, no matter how much Weezer would have liked that to happen.
I'm also pulling out my sword, and I'm going to spend a willpower in order to activate it.
Wow.
I'm just
Okay.
gonna try and I'm just gonna try and fiddle the lock with the kukri.
When when you go to deal with the lock with the kukri, Sly walks up to you and goes, "You can do this. Just focus." And when he says that, he's going to use Lore of Radiance 2 Exalt. Let's see, I roll Manipulation and Leadership, and each success is a bonus die the target may add to a single dice pool for that turn.
Okay.
And of course, he's going to focus that on her and her effort.
Sure.
Oh
That is interesting because the kukri is probably one of the worst items you could attempt to lockpick with.
Is it?
But
I just figured it would be less obvious than my actual sword.
you're right. It would be very less obvious, but this is the equivalent of taking a gigantic machete and trying to lockpick a door.
Well, are you trying to pick the lock, or are you just trying to break the lock?
Yeah, basically just break it.
Okay. That makes a little bit more sense. It's still super awkward, but yes.
Okay.
So 5
Yeah.
successes, so that gives you an extra 5 dice to use on what
Oh
you're
my gosh. Okay.
So you're trying to just break it, so you're going to want to go strength and strength and security, or sorry, larceny.
I actually have a kukri. Like, this is George. I have a kukri. They're cool.
Oh yeah, no, it's not that they're not cool. It's just you don't pick locks with it.
There's a dude on.
Difficulty 6.
Oh, good grief, no. Difficulty 8.
Okay.
This is not a great tool for what it is you're attempting to do, and
Okay.
you're trying to wedge the metal to snap the thing. So
right.
From 9 dice, I got 1 success.
Wow.
Getting him out of the way.
Okay. Good grief. So you're like, you start to hear, you've wedged in, and you start to hear some metal, giving. You're not certain if it's your kukri or if it's the lock. Would you like to try one more time?
Yes. Do I still get those extra die?
So after he sees you do that and it doesn't work, he's going to be like, "Take your time. You can do this." And he's going to go ahead and use Exalt again.
Okay. What does it cost you? Anything?
Nothing.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to find a spot where I am not in immediate view.
I'm going to re-roll that botch.
That was what you were trying to. Oh,
There we
Oh,
go.
there
6
we go.
successes.
okay.
So 6 dice.
Okay. So, Brittany, go ahead and roll one more time.
I really can't wait to see the.
4.
Okay, so at this point, you've actually bent your kukri a little bit at the tip. So you're going to want to get that worked on.
Fix.
But
Okay.
yeah, snap. The metal and quality of the kukri was far superior to the lock that was holding it in place, and it, the U section that locked in place snapped open.
Okay, I'm going to sheath the kukri and draw my sword,
Okay.
my actual sword, which
Sure.
is an Irish hand and a half that looks something like this.
You
Ooh.
draw that. You draw that from your.
yeah.
Keep
Out
in
of my
mind,
sweater.
Cade drew something similar.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but I keep mine in a bag. Like,
Right, yeah.
Yes, I'm not an 80s anime character like she is, who drawing hammers from no place.
When you say in a bag, all I think of is like a grocery bag where it just says like fries on the front or
Yeah.
Fred Meyer.
I reach into my Arby's bag and I pull out my.
It's like
It's the Mary Poppins of vampire. I mean, come on.
pretty
No,
much
it's
like
I keep it in like a sportsman's bag, like something like you would
Right.
keep like
Yep.
golf clubs and
Like a
bats.
duffel bag.
Cade has got his Arby's bag, and the activation word is "We have the meat."
Beef.
Yeah.
It's like He-Man and having the power. He's like, "We have the
Yeah.
meats."
Yeah.
There's a lightning strike for some reason.
Yeah,
you know. Very epic.
You
I
have
put
to do it in. You have to do it in that voice you've been working on there, George.
Oh, and
Very dramatically.
sorry, I got.
Sorry.
I was trying to pull up my weird tracks. No, well, let's keep moving.
Yeah, let's keep going. So,
Yeah.
at any rate, so you snapped the lock. It is you can pull it open.
Okay, so I'll have my sword in one hand and then the door handle in the other, and just look at the other two. Are we ready?
Go for it.
Now I wish I had my sword.
Good
Sly doesn't
luck.
even like take a stance or anything. He's just standing there. He's like, "Yeah, go for it."
Okay. I just think it's interesting that Sly is just standing there and he's watching two people pull stuff out from places they should never have pulled something out of. Not that big.
Yeah, like
And it's like, I think I may have partly gotten cheated.
that is pretty neat. Shoot.
So anyway,
And, okay.
so you
I'll
throw
go ahead
the
and open-
door open, it kind of
Open the door.
slides open. You can see that the concrete floor that would normally be in here has been broken up. It's mostly swept up, but there's still some jagged pieces here and there. And there is some makeshift stairs that go down into the ground.
Oh no.
That's amazing. Wow.
Well, I think this is the place.
Well, Mr. Knight with the sword, and I'm talking about Cade here because I know both of you love your swords. Would you like to go first?
Yes, of course. And I will make sure that my clear sighted ability is up and running.
Okay.
Yes, I'm just going to take in the room and before we head down, make sure that there's nobody hiding in the vicinity.
Okay.
Yeah. How is this lit?
There is a little bit of ambient light because there's one light source that sits in the very middle of the storage unit that kind of peers down, that just stays on the whole time. Down below, you're not certain. You do see some sort of light, but it's hard to say with any degree of certainty like where it's coming from.
Okay.
I have got to go.
Actually, yes. Do I see anything are there more sigils? Does it look like this area has bear traps or anything crazy?
Since you're looking for traps, why don't you give me a perception and larceny check?
Okay. Perception and larceny.
Yes.
Difficulty 6.
Difficulty 7, given the lighting.
That is a failure.
Okay, so as you are walking down the steps, you obviously there is some illumination from your flaming sword.
Oh, is it on fire?
I
that-
thought you put it on fire.
Well, I've activated it, but I was not actually sure what the activation does.
It turns it on fire.
Okay, yes. Yeah.
Whoa!
I'm sure
fire
Cade.
sword. Okay.
Yeah, Cade knows. George has never used this thing before.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes. So
Going
it's
to-
not like a massive pyre or whatnot, but yeah, it's got some flickering flames coming off of it.
Okay, I'm going to if
So
I can.
it's providing a little bit of light, helping you get down the steps. You don't see any traps per se. You do end up seeing that there's some conduit that appears to be connected back upward, maybe like through the base of the building and into a junction, like right above it or something. It's hard to say, but work has been put into this particular place.
So you're saying that there appears to be some sort of electricity is being supplied into this
To somewhere down below, yes.
Okay.
Basically, it kind of you step down and you go down what would be effectively another level, and then there are man-sized tunnels down here, but like 5'4" man-sized tunnels, not like full-sized like people could just normally walk. You'd almost have to walk with a crouch.
Oh.
Okay.
Still too short for me.
Let's see. Okay, so I will. I'm going as quietly as I can. I'm going to try to be stealthy about this. I'm going to have my sword kind of behind me, like essentially, like kind of have it to where the blade is behind me, so that way I'm blocking the light as much as possible.
You mean?
Yes.
I'm sorry. You're doing what?
So if the sword is giving off light, I kind of want to have the sword kind of be like I've got my arm kind of behind me, so that way the blade is not.
Gotcha. Who is following directly behind Cade?
I will.
Okay. Brittany, why don't you give me a dexterity and athletics check?
No, I like. Come on, I'm not like.
I understand, but it is close quarters, and it is crowded.
Yeah.
Dex and athletics.
Dex and athletics, difficulty 6.
to describe every element, I take 3 breaths
7
and then I do something.
successes.
You got what?
7.
Yeah. See, I didn't think it was going to be too much of an issue. Yeah. So you hadn't quite caught up to him as he had taken a couple steps forward, and so he's repositioning himself, obviously having to hunch down a bit to get through here. It looks like maybe he's trying to mask some of the light from the weapon. So you caught it in time. You didn't like walk like right directly behind him, and you see him kind of do one of these numbers. So you're like, you give him a couple. You give him a couple more
swords
steps.
is in my wheelhouse.
What's that?
Avoiding swords is in my wheelhouse.
Correct. So you give him like a couple more paces before you start following behind. And then obviously Sly is behind. He's in the rear with the gear.
Yep.
So obviously Charlotte is still being taken around and looking at, all the lockers that they've got down here. He's at this point
distracting him with every question.
Oh, sure, yeah. And at this point, he's taking you out back and showing you where they have some parking specifically for like campers, boats, that sort of thing for people who need like long-term storage. And he is hitting on you.
Oh yeah, Char is playing along. Gonna break his heart though.
Oh, okay. So he's like, at this point as he's walking around and, and he's looking, I mean, for who he is, he's kind of charming. He's average looking, a little on the thin side, but he works, heavy lifting and whatnot. And so as you're getting back there,
he does.
right. Yeah. So as you're getting back there and you've got like the RVs and whatnot, he's just like, it would be a shame to waste one of these semi-private rooms.
Oh, I believe we have a lot more to see, don't we?
So give me Give me another charisma and expression check.
Okay.
Uh,
I am going to use
with
a
your
willpower.
with your enchanting voice, it's obviously going to be a total of difficulty of 4.
I am gonna burn a willpower to give me 1 success. Or does that just give me an extra dice? I've never
No,
burned a willpower.
it gives you an automatic 1 success.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that's 2 successes with my willpower.
Wow. Okay. So he's like, all right. Well, I mean, I can always show you the the break room and the office that we got here, and what kind of fine, upstanding facility we run.
I would love that. And she'll like touch his hand, like with one finger.
Sure. Okay. So he's just like, whoo. Dog will hunt. All right, let's go take a look. So he walks off, and of course, Nigel is following with you. You notice that his name is also Nigel.
Oh, that works perfectly.
So they're both Nigel. So Cade, as you are walking down, you can see that this tunnel that you're kind of walking down ends up opening up into 3 separate tunnels. One is not very far. It just goes off to what appears to be like a maybe like a communal room or something that they've just tunneled out a bit, because there's a couple chairs, like cheap fold out chairs that are down here, like the ones you like, the old school like fold out chairs that you put on the lawn.
Mm-hmm.
If you're swimming, you're going to wind up having all the crease marks in your legs.
Like lawn chairs.
Yep. The cheap lawn chairs. They've got a couple of those down there. The other 2 tunnels branch off a little ways.
Yeah, I hear a cyborg.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I will wait for the. Do I hear anything? Do I hear anything stirring?
There's some faint noise from above, so maybe you're near a road. But other than that, you're not hearing anything in particular.
All right. I'm going to. How about?
Hold that thought real quick. I gotta get something for my door. One moment.
Okay.
It's donuts, guys.
Hurts donuts. They're so good. They hurt. Look, I'm feeling for time.
Are yummy. They're those like fancy ones that have like the fancy toppings on them.
Is it an actual thing?
Yeah. I'll get it for you.
Is anybody good at looking for tracks? I have a little bit of survival training, but
Well, no, but
I am back.
Was it donuts?
Shelly had to leave, Jerome.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just saw. Alrighty. So back in game.
Okay. I'm going to wait for everybody to kind of meet me in this room.
Sure.
And I'm going to. Are there footprints that like lead? Well, I guess there's probably footprints going into any of these tunnels. But I'm going to kind of, as everyone kind of piles down here, kind of look to them and be like, oh yes.
Jerome, is there anything wooden in here?
No.
Brittany didn't think to bring a stake.
You don't have a wooden stake inside your sweater?
That
Or
would have been smart, wouldn't it? Nope.
Or a scabbard?
Her sweater of holding.
Yeah. You could peel the leather off of a scabbard.
I will be remedying that when the scene is over, but I would like to be on the lookout for anything that's wooden that I could break into a stake.
Okay.
I mean, a
Break
pencil.
or hack.
So I don't suggest we break up necessarily. But honestly, if either of you have any chance of tracking, I have full confidence in the both of you. And right then, he's going to do Exalt again for both of them.
Okay.
P.S. Jerome, what does this feel like? Is there like any kind of a feeling?
Bardic
Just
inspiration,
inspiring.
but better.
Yeah,
Okay.
the description of it for Exalt, the power of the demon's commanding voice is enough to instill hope in the weakest of hearts, spurring mortals to put aside their fears and steal triumph from the jaws of defeat. So,
Oh.
Quick question. Am I immortal?
Yeah, are we mortals?
You can possibly be affected by this.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 successes. So you both get 2 extra dice.
Yeah. All right. I'm going
To tracking?
To whatever you're going to do next.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm going to see if I can tell if there's any sort of indication whether one of these tunnels has been trafficked more recently or more heavily.
Okay. Go ahead and roll then.
Okay. Is that perception and survival?
Nope. Yeah, actually.
Okay. And I get 2 extra dice.
Yes.
Okay.
Difficulty 7, just because of the ground in which you're on right now.
Okay. 4 successes. So yeah, I got a 4. I think I did that right. Yes, +2. Yeah. Right.
Okay. So based on what you've determined, looking at this, the tunnel, the passageway to the left is the one from where you're at, from the left, is the one that appears to be trafficked more. All of them, however, have quite a few footprints that go back and forth.
Okay. And which
Again,
one
it's
did
not
you...
very big, so they all shuffle on top of one another.
And which one did you say was the communal tunnel with the lawn chairs?
So if you're coming through the tunnel that you guys got right here, the one immediately off to your right is that one that had the couple lawn chairs in it that looked like it was a communal area for one reason. Then you had one that kept going straight, and the one off to your left.
Okay. Drawing a little map for myself, and then I'll kind of point to the leftmost one as being the one that's probably most trafficked, but there's a lot of movement down here. Also hunched. Yes, and I would like to. I guess I'll. What do you think? Should we keep moving?
Sure.
If that's the one where most of them are going, or it seems like it, lead the way.
Right. Then I will quietly make my way down that left tunnel. Kind of same thing.
Everybody roll Dex and Stealth.
Okay.
Difficulty 7.
Does the demon buff continue to work, or is it just for that one roll?
It's just that one roll.
Just that.
Okay. Okie dokie.
Well, luckily I didn't spend my rolls, so
Oh.
Yeah, so there you go.
3 successes.
Okay.
0 successes.
3 successes.
Okay, so all of you are very sneaky with the exception of the slight noise coming from behind you. As every day Sly is shuffling just a little bit more. Making some slight scuff sounds as he goes, walking along. You guys are doing really good, walking heel toe. Keep it very quiet. And you end up getting into you end up getting into a larger chamber. Again, it's not super large, but there is a larger chamber here, and this is where it looks like it comes to an abrupt stop. And you, as you look around, you can see that there are a total of 5 bodies that are down here. All of them have, they look like they're just laying on the ground, but they all have pillows. There is one who is kneeling and looking at you, Cade, as you come walking in.
Does this person look well?
Do any of them look monstrous?
Well, I'll start with the one who's looking right at you.
I feel like I need to go and subdue this one.
She is gaunt and hollow-eyed. She has stringy, unkempt black hair and pale, mottled skin that gives her the look of a walking corpse. She dresses in layers of thrift store rags, and she has a dirty stuffed rabbit near her.
Oh.
Is she a child?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
The others that you can see, another one who looks like they're probably hunched with grotesque stitched together visage. The individual is mismatched skin grafts that look like patchwork with sharp talon-like fingers. And he is wearing a bloodied butcher's apron over ragged clothing. The next one is also a kind of hunched figure with dry, cracked skin that flakes off like ash. She's a female. Her face is kind of skeletal looking, a mockery of humanity with sunken black eyes and jagged teeth. She's wearing a hooded coat and gloves that could potentially hide her condition. The next person looks kind of like a wiry punk with a permanent scowl even when he sleeps. A dyed red mohawk, a torn leather jacket covered in anarchist slogans, and you can tell that he has some knuckle tattoos. The next one is dressed in tattered Victorian finery. She looks almost like a ghostly bride with smeared makeup and wild, unkept blonde hair. And her once beautiful face is marred by a permanent jagged scar across her lips. And the last one is tall and lanky with wild animalistic features, including, you can't tell that, pointed ears. His body is crisscrossed with jagged scars, and he dresses in scavenged biker gear.
So there's 5 or 6?
6.
6.
So, Jerome, you described some of these people as being hunched, but do you mean like hunched in terms of their posture, or hunched like, okay, because but there's only one person that seems to be awake.
Correct.
Which is the first person you described, the girl with the stuffed animal.
She's looking right at you.
Okay.
Wait, 6 people including the girl that's
5
awake?
people, 6 including the girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
5 people on the ground. The 6th person is the girl who is looking at me. Okay. How does she?
And as she sees you there, and she kind of tilts her head and she says, "You're not supposed to be here." And 1 second.
Yeah. Does it look like she's armed?
No. Well, I mean, she has her bunny.
Okay. Well, that's dangerous in its own way.
So.
Look at the teeth.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your so what is your active willpower right now?
My active willpower is
Because you spent 1, correct?
Yes. So I have 4 currently unspent.
Okay, so 4. So let's go. All right.
I forget. How do I regain willpower? Is that like a daily thing?
Sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep.
Meditation.
Oh, okay. So
yep.
Okay, then in that case, I would just be down the 1 then. Because we rested 2 days because I was down 2.
So
Yeah.
so how many you have total?
Okay, so then that means I have 6 unspent.
6 unspent. Okay.
Yes.
It's not 1 per day. It's you go to sleep and you're full the next day.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Sorry. There's so many things that like recharge.
aggro.
They recharge at different rates, and I'm like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, it's not like
Okay.
It's not like aggravated wounds.
So as she spoke to you, you feel this immense dread race down your spine, and she is probably the most, because the whole thing kind of caught you off guard because she was eerie in and of itself.
Mhm.
And just that eeriness and that terror and being in close quarters magnified race down your spine, and you're running out.
Okay.
You have just bolted. So at this point, you are bowling over. You still have your anything you're holding, but you are bowling over Petra and Sly. Petra, why don't you give me, because you can't dodge it, give me a strength check.
Just strength.
Just strength.
Difficulty 6.
Yes.
Fail.
All right. So he has bowled you over successfully, and just hitting you like Emmitt Smith going through the offensive line. Just bam. His foot just like stomps you into the ground, and he's racing right past. Sly. Strength.
Okay. All right. Oh, you said just strength, right?
Yeah, just strength.
Okay. 1 success.
Okay. He does the same thing to you, but you kind of like hold on a little bit, trying to keep him from going. So you get dragged a little bit back, but he keeps running at this point.
Yeah, I eventually let go so
Yeah.
that he could just keep going. In the world? Okay. What's going on here?
Were we affected by that?
No.
Or was it? Okay.
No, just him. And as he goes running out, you hear her say really loudly, "We've got visitors!"
Well, that ruins that.
Okay. Can I get up?
Oh yeah, 100%. You're not. This wasn't Werewolves Falling Touch. You're not pinned to the
Okay.
ground.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump to my feet, and I'm gonna use Via Ignis on my sword.
Okay. So one second.
Let's see.
Hold that thought.
Difficulty to envelop a weapon is 8. Cost 1 willpower.
Yep. Go ahead and do that and make your roll. You just need the 1 success in order to do it.
Yeah, 2 successes.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, so you keep in mind there is activation when you do that, Petra. So you see, so Petra had her weapon out. She's getting, climbing back up real quick, and you hear her say, "Flamma Sancta die!" And her fire, erupts from her blade.
Sly smiles at that. Like, fantastic.
So if we're gonna do this, we are in combat.
Yeah, I'm gonna start swinging.
Oh boy. Okay. So we need initiative.
I may die tonight again. That's okay. It's what I do.
Oh,
So go
I
ahead.
didn't
And
actually say that. That was
get your dex and wits and roll 1d10. Sly and Petra.
Okay. I hope you came for a fight, Sly.
all right.
Okay, 1d10 plus what was it? Dex and
Dex and wits.
Just dex and wits.
Dex
1d10.
and wits.
A total of 8.
$11.
Okay, and let's see collectively what they get. Not great. Okay.
I'm so nervous.
Why? Because you're grossly outnumbered at this point.
By vamps. Woohoo!
All right. So, holding that thought. All right. So obviously we have to jump around a little bit here to get others involved. So it is evening time. So we're gonna obviously. There's no way this group and you were going to be able to connect tonight. So
No, I already knew that was going to happen. That's okay.
yeah. So Charles.
Yep.
It is evening time at this point. You've obviously left a message for Joe. Joe,
Yep.
when you get up, you are told, you have that message waiting for you saying that Charles wants to get with you to meet Kieran, Mr. Rourke.
The last time I agreed to meet Mr. Rourke and his buddies, I got shut up and fireballed. So I'm a little apprehensive of this. So I'm going to text back Charles and I'm going to say, and hopefully, her accent comes through. What the fuck you mean I got to meet with him?
I would like you to come.
So basically it was a text with like a lot of slang and
like WTF,
yeah.
Why do I got to meet with him? I almost died last time.
He asked for you, wants to discuss the other night. Send. Up to you.
She sends a GIF or something that is like that blonde little girl that has the whole look to her, like I don't believe this. So she's like, okay, fine, but I'm coming packed.
Cool.
All right, and so Joe will get up, do her thing, and meet. I'm assuming it's pretty soon. You said 6:30, so she's probably got about an hour before she's got to be there.
Okay.
At this point.
Sure.
I'm assuming is she done with like her contract work with the film at this point?
No.
Like they don't need her. Oh, okay. Is she scheduled to be there tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. Probably after this then. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well then she'll go, but she's gonna text Milner, whatever his name is, saying that Irishman asking me for a meeting. Just FYI.
Okay. So Stephen Milner fires off a Thumbs up emoji.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and then she'll get ready, get dressed, do what her bit is, and then she'll leave.
Okay. So when you get there, so it's Hertz Donuts.
Mhm.
So they're still open at this point. Obviously, they're nowhere near as busy currently. So when you guys come walking in, like he turns and looks to the people at the counter and kind of waves them away, and they just go busy themselves somewhere else inside the place.
All right. I guess he owns a Hertz Donuts. That's pretty cool.
So he so as you two come in, he says, "Drinks, anyone?"
Joe
What do
shakes
they
her head.
what do they have here? Let's take a look.
Pepsi products.
Yeah,
Milk.
I'll just take a Pepsi. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So he has one of his guys go up there and get the large version, gives it light ice, gives some Pepsi, brings it out to you, and then he just goes and waits near the door. He says,
All right.
"So, I'm curious, what do either of you know about what happened the other night?"
Well, I now know that there's some religious fanatics out there, or something called hunters, or something that apparently ambushed us, and I don't know why.
That's kind of what I'm trying to get to the bottom to. Was hoping maybe you two could shed some light on it. Any enemies that you made that I need to know of? Charities you didn't donate or to that made them angry?
Look, I don't know who
Did
these
you
people
punch
are.
a nun?
I was just there to take Mr. Sly here to meet with you, and then we got ambushed on our way out. Like I've never seen that before. These guys with crosses on their faces, these white sort of things that I've never seen before.
No, I get it. I'm trying to find out why they're there, because they weren't there for me. And if they're not there for you, if they're not there for Charles, he kind of looks at Charles because he's been kind of quiet.
No, yeah, no. He's been shaking his head the entire time
Okay.
because Joe's like
Joe
is
Genoa is like
yeah
no clue. She has
right.
this sort of look of confusion on her face.
He
Right,
says,
and so it's like it's not for me. I don't have any enemies that like that, religious fanatics or otherwise.
he says, so then
Yeah, I might have towed a wrong car or two, but dang,
yeah,
I didn't think they were that unhappy about it.
I mean, they had to have been after you, right?
Why me?
No, Mr. Rourke.
he says, no, they weren't after me. Because I've been in this town a while. They would have.
I've been here as well, a couple of years. Like at this point, I'm so baffled by this.
He says, okay, well, if you guys are being on the up and up, then that means they were there for Sly.
Why would they be there for Sly? I don't know anything about him really, but
I don't know. Other than he's got.
I thought he died. Wait, did he say he died before, or he came back? But I remember being around some conversation I overheard at some point that he had come back, but I felt like it was a bit of a weird supernatural thing.
There was a rumor that he died, and now he's up and about, clearly upright. So I don't know if that was just a fake death because he thought he had
money. I mean, come on.
He crossed some of the wrong people, but they jumped the gun and did his family in.
Oh shit. Well, she's kind of stunned for a moment at that bit, cause she kind of relates and doesn't know how to really say that.
Okay.
That's a tragedy. I mean, but even still, why would they come after him after, I don't know, all this time? She puts in quotes. I mean, I don't
know.
know how old he is.
I can't
but
say I know him all that well, and I don't recall him punching nuns or offending anybody at the church that would necessitate that sort of drastic measure. And so he motions one of his guys over real quick, and he's got a used paper bag.
Ooh.
It's like the old crumpled, paper bag sort of thing. And he slides it over and he says, I think it goes without saying that.
Does it have a sword in it?
I would
Yes.
like to
Does
pull
it
out
have
the
an
sword.
Arby's logo on it?
It has an well, for sake of argument, it is an
Here's
Arby's.
the beef.
Yes, it is an Arby's bag. Yes.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, so it's it's been rolled up several times. It's got that crumpled look to it. And he says, I think it goes without saying that we don't need to talk to anybody about the events that transpired at the docks.
No.
And he kind of looks back and forth to the two of you.
Like
Not
that,
on
I
my
would rather
end.
forget that. I mean, I lost my truck. It got blown up by some weird fireball and riddled with bullets, like me, weirdly. And yeah, I don't want to think about this day ever again, or that day.
So he slides the bag over to you guys.
All right. I'll take a look at the bag. What's inside?
Okay,
Money,
you see two bundles of cash that have been taped off,
All right.
and a set of keys.
Oh, hey.
I look at the keys. What are they to?
It's it's a set of Chrysler keys.
Oh.
Oh.
I hold up the keys and kind of jingle them. What's these for?
He
I gotta drive
says,
somebody somewhere again?
he shakes his head. He says, "That's to replace what you lost," and
Oh!
split the contents of the bag.
Well, that's very generous of you, Mr. Rourke. I was not expecting that. It's helpful, to be sure. Okay.
And he says, so that being said, he says, despite the events that transpired, you both handled yourselves quite well.
Well,
And if
I'm
you're
a
not
survivor.
and if you're not opposed, I would be interested in calling on you again, perhaps in the near future. That is, if you're interested in making some more money. Under the table, of course.
Well, I did survive, but I think I'll take that on a case-by-case basis, if you don't mind.
I think that would be best.
Fair enough.
Thank you for the replacement car and the compensation. I won't be saying anything, or you already know this, I hope. I just want to put it behind me. But I will say that I have a feeling that this is not the first time that we're going to encounter these people. So I am a little worried that it's going to be a reoccurring problem.
Fair enough. And all the more reason why I may want to call on you again so we can get to the bottom of this.
Fair
Okay.
enough, I suppose.
That's more interesting. Okay.
Well,
Getting to the bottom of the situation, making sure that this crazy group doesn't bother us anymore. That's definitely something I'd be interested in.
Because the way I see it, there's a guilt by association. If they're after Sly, they're going to be after anybody who had any contact with him. Because they're going to be looking for answers.
that's why I was keeping a bit of a low profile the last couple of days, because I didn't know what aftermath there might have been from that. So, but we do have some reshoots tonight, I think, and some stuff going on with your production. So,
Right,
I
so
think
I've heard.
that's where we're going next.
Yep.
So why don't the two of you ride in style then, enjoy the rest of your evening, and try not to spend everything in one place.
Will do.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Hope we'll be hearing from you soon.
If you happen to hear anything more, I would be willing to pay for that information.
Okay.
Will do, Mr. Rock.
So he stands up, he nods, and he snaps his fingers, and his two guys will go walking out with him. He gets on the phone as he's getting in his own car, and as his car pulls out, you can see that there's a black Chrysler Escalade in the parking lot.
Ooh.
Sweet. I can't really do a whole lot of I'm gonna mess up this paint job. I already know, because it's gonna be a work truck at this point, or work car. So, okay. I mean, he really went.
Yeah.
I don't think my truck was worth a third of this, but I'll take it.
This is top of the
there's-
line.
There's a total of $4,000 in there in the bag.
Okay. So we'll split it. I kind of look at you like, I did almost die, but I did get a car out of it, so I'll split it half with you.
Yeah, that works. 2 for Joe, 2K for Charles.
Okay.
And the new Escalade,
For Joe. Yeah.
Joe.
I'm gonna have to mod it and stuff for her own personal preferences. I am going to at some point take it into her shop and just make sure it doesn't have any kind of tracking devices and shit on it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Because I don't trust it, even though it came from him.
Yeah.
totally understand.
Take all the microphones out.
Mhm.
So when you guys get to the site at this point, they have changed up the scene that you guys are going to be shooting.
Okay.
So Joe, you're going to have to roll to rig up some explosions.
Okay.
And what the scene is here is that Charles's character is having to fight through a gauntlet of like these superior fighters in along a street that is on fire and blowing up.
Ooh, nice.
So it's not like it's planned. It's purposely designed to look like he's having to on foot having to fight his way through these guys to get down to this boss that's down at the other end of the street before he can leave.
Okay.
And as you guys get there, Charles, you realize these are the guys that he specifically brought in.
Oh, perfect. Okay,
So-
great. I was wondering how we were going to use them. This is
Yeah,
gonna be
so
awesome.
so all these guys here are experienced stuntmen and martial artists.
Perfect.
So Joe, why don't you go ahead and give me a roll for crafts for your explodey things?
Intelligence and crafts.
Yep.
Sweet.
I'll I guess before I'll just meet up with the other fighters, say, hey, how you doing? Thank you for showing up. We're gonna have a great fight.
Okay.
Blah blah blah.
They,
just chit chat.
They, I mean, they're clearly there for the pay, so they're not
Mhm.
super chatty. You
Okay.
do, however, see that one of the guys who's
4.
Ooh, nice. Okay, so yeah, you double check everything, and you have got everything that's supposed to explode, rigged correctly. The flames are gonna are the secondary flames, balls of flame and whatnot are rigged, in a nice professional manner. So you should get some good exposure from the cameras. So Charles, you also see, in addition to the guys obviously that are here for the fight scene, the guy that you're the guy who's attempting to get away,
Mhm.
it looks like they picked up Danhausen for it.
Hey, let's go. I was wondering about him. All right.
So he, so basically, the way the scene's going to go is like you're chasing him, but he's throwing his minions at you, to fight you, and you have to fight your way through, and it's like this trying sort of thing. And then when you get to the very end, the idea behind it is that you're supposed to, he's supposedly kind of a fighter, but he's like the wimp sort of thing. Like he'll pick on people he can obviously beat, but he'll try to run from people he feels like he can't do anything with, is ultimately the character. So the closer you get, obviously the faster he's trying to run away, get to a car and speed away.
Okay.
So go ahead, and you need to give me a series of 5 rolls to essentially run that gauntlet.
5 rolls.
And that is going to be dexterity and your highest technique.
All right.
So I think it's kick, right?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. 5 decks and kicks. Can I preemptively? Let's just see how it goes. Difficulty 6. And we're looking at a specialty. Three successes.
Okay. So first one starting off really well. You're snapping some kicks and fake punches and whatnot in there. With the first guy.
6 successes.
And you end up finishing him off with like a hard upper straight kick, like right to his skull, sending him, laying him out on top of an abandoned car sort of thing. And just as you start trying to like run forward, as you got past him, some other guy grabs you and throws you up against the car, and drills you, for like 2 punches, and you come back with a knee, 2 low kicks to buckle him, do you have flying thrust kick?
Let us check. I think that's on Dylan. I don't think I have that yet. I have flying knee thrust.
Okay. So you end up like snapping 2 kicks low and buckling his knees, which brings him down lower, and then you throw yourself forward with the knee and cracking him in the face as he buckles down to the ground. On that particular one, like an explosion goes off, so it's like you've got this ball of flame that you're almost jumping through as you connect with them.
Nice.
And of course the cameras are catching all this stuff. So bam, and he goes down, and the way he actually crumples really well with it. You didn't actually connect with him because you timed it perfectly. You would almost have to stop the camera and looked and measured to see if there was a gap. Like it was really, really seamless. And so then you hit him and you come back down, and then one guy breaks a board over your back, sending you down to the ground. And then, he ends up kicking you to the head. You have to, sell that one. Go ahead and roll again.
3 successes.
3 successes. Okay. So you kind of fight back with a cheap punch to his groin. Just sending him kind of buckling over, and you line up 2 like spin kicks to sprawl him out, and he topples down. Then flame is rolling in on the other side, setting off a car as a car blows up, and the hydraulics that they have underneath to throw the car up for the explosion, it goes flying up.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And go ahead and give me another check.
All right. 4 successes.
Okay. And so the next guy comes in, he comes running in, and he ends up clocking you with like a crowbar, and bam, bam. And so at this point, like you're looking like hell warmed over, by this point. And so so out of desperation, like you throw a kick down, and they simulate like an ankle snap, from the guy. And so he's like, and then you end up driving like an elbow straight to his face to buckle him, end over end down to the ground. And at this point, you're trying to run because you're having to sell obviously the damage that you're taking, and you're limping, kind of pulling forward, doing give me a charisma and performance for your acting.
Ooh. Charisma, performance. 3 successes.
Okay. So you are clearly selling it. It's looking good on the camera. You've got the you've got the fake sweat and the glistening coming off you. You've got the lights and fire kind of crackling around you. You've got the grease stains, where it looks like you've physically pulled yourself through the the mire.
Mm-hmm.
And you're getting down there. You're down to the 1, 2, 3, 4. Give me one more roll for the last guy.
No.
Wow. So,
9 successes.
So you
Oh
end
my
up.
god.
So you end up improving it on this guy, and
Wow.
so you start like putting your body into it and
Fist to your
trying to
face style.
and
Holy
trying
shit.
yeah I know and trying to run at it. So right as a car ends up blowing up, you end up jumping on top of the car that's being flung into the air, and you end up like backflipping off,
Yes.
grabbing the guy like by his shoulders and head. And he yells at you for improving, but he can't hate too much because you pulled it off. Like you end up flying all the way back around and sending him flying to the other side. Just so he's
Wow.
like flying almost comically through the air, back off of the screen, and you hit the ground and because you rolled well enough on your acting, like you've got that hero down to one knee,
Yeah.
the 1,000-yard stare at at this point at Danhausen, and Danhausen's character is like and so he's like trying to hustle at this point, back to the car. Go ahead and roll your dex and athletics.
Dex and athletics.
Dale's like, out of nowhere, and Oscar just flies into Charles' hands. Just
what am I gonna say? Dex. Okay.
Yeah.
Dex. 5 successes.
Okay, not bad. So at this point you're like hustling. Got kind of Arnold Schwarzenegger like, like sort of just yell as you're making it look like you're fighting to the pain and running right at him. Give me an acting check real quick because
Sure.
Danhausen's character turns and he puts the magic voodoo on you sort of thing. And so you have to suddenly try and sell it.
1 success.
Oh, do you want to re-roll if you have it, or I don't know if you do.
Let's check. Let's check. Nope. Not wait. Brittany gave me a reroll in November. I'm gonna re-roll it.
Okay.
Four successes.
Okay. All right. So you end up like having to suddenly like act like you've been like hypnotized temporarily, and and he's doing this magic voodoo thing and cackling like he's gonna make you walk into the fire, and he's making you're selling it like very rigidly, like you're trying to fight it, and he's trying to make you walk into an active exploding car that's on fire, so you just burn yourself up. Go ahead and roll your acting one more time, and then roll your dex and dex and kick.
5 successes on the acting.
Okay, so you get like painfully close, like you feel the pain for your art and purposely put yourself too close to the fire, so some of the hair starts getting singed and you start like losing an eyebrow. You can feel at this point like your face getting like way too hot, and you suddenly turn real quick as you quote unquote fight off the magic, just before as he's trying to get into the car and make your
5
athletic
successes.
so at this point you take like several steps and you end up like throwing yourself at him like the Johnny Cage shadow kick.
Yes.
So you're like, "Ah!" and you slide across the ground and you end up the way the scene's supposed to end is like you catch him, you kick the car door with such force that they have like a snapping sound that makes it make it sound like you snapped him into the car, like basically broke his back and neck, and force him to collapse, and he hits the ground, and then you hear him yell cut, and like everybody in the audience, or the audience, but the crew and whatnot, everybody starts like cheering and whatnot, that that everything went off really well, and then like just for good measure, Joe is off to the side, like Danny McBride's character from Tropic Thunder, and just going like,
Yeah.
it's just like big old titties, and he just like letting off everything else. Just,
She 100% is like,
just
all up
lets
into
off
it.
the extra explosions, for no particular reason. Okay, so that
was awesome.
So you guys got your some good shots in for the movie again. Great stunt work. Now back to the underground issue.
Oh, that's what we're calling it.
Yes.
To death or not to death?
To believe.
Some death is definitely happening tonight.
Okay, so we have all right, so Brittany, you're actually top of the round.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to use Speed of Stag,
Okay.
which is a quickening power.
Uh-huh.
Now, okay, so I'm obviously this is the first time that I've used this stuff.
Yes.
So I roll my quickening,
Mm-hmm.
and the number of successes is the number of extra rounds that I get.
Yes.
Does my quickening? It doesn't have like a temporary thing, right? I always roll the same.
That's correct.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense because there's not like a box underneath it. Okay. Difficulty 6 for quickening.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
One.
Okay, so you got 2 attacks. So you have your
Okay.
everyman at this point. You'll have one more at the end of the round.
Okay. Really, I just want to start like, I guess, chopping. Are they? If they're still on the ground, I'm gonna.
They're all getting up. There's the girl who apparently terrified Cade.
Can I just do like a spinning thing?
You want to turn into Link from Legend of Zelda with
Yeah,
the spinning
pretty
sword.
much.
So with most of them on the ground, you would only be able to get the one at this point. So
Okay, well, I guess then I'll swing at the first person.
okay. So are you just swinging, or are you attempting to behead her?
Oh yeah,
Who wants to live forever?
Difficulty. Yeah, I mean, let's do the head thing.
Okay. So that is going to be a difficulty 8. If you connect, this is aggravated damage.
Hey, don't scratch the chair. Stop.
Is that the chair you gave her?
Yeah.
You might
It
as well
sets
just
a
let
bad
her.
precedent.
It doesn't. You might as well let her. And I told you that's what I did with my chair, and she always comes around.
Oh, she's behind me now. She's on the floor. Here. Go play with that. Okay. Sorry. Kitty aggro. Dex and melee. Difficulty what? 7?
Difficulty 8.
8. Two successes.
Ooh, that may. I mean, if she's unable to dodge, that may be enough. Essentially that's whenever you're targeting something like that, you have to get at least 2 successes to be successful in hitting that called shot.
Okay.
Also, it's on fire. I forgot.
That's why I said it's going to be aggravated damage.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Would you like to roll for damage?
Yes, I would.
Ooh. Woohoo.
Okay, so wait. As far as damage for so there's damage from the sword and then there's damage from the fire, right?
Well, the fire adds to the damage that you do. Well, basically, what the fire does is it converts it to aggravated damage.
Okay.
So she won't be able to soak it, hopefully.
I'm just trying to.
So it's going to be your strength
numbers.
plus your damage to sword.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everything a sword does is aggravated.
Nice.
Difficulty 6, right?
Yes, for damage.
And we don't do specialties.
Negative
damage.
Ghost Rider.
4.
Ooh. So you come in and you see that she's, staring at you. There's like some sort of voodoo that's in her eyes that probably got to Cade and look like she was going to do it again. And you're just like, ah, reliving those times that you had to square off, for your life. And all of a sudden you connect with her and like her body, ignites. You see the head kind of go up, and bounce off the ceiling and come back down.
So the person that I attacked was the girl.
Yes.
I didn't realize. I thought I was attacking a vampire.
That was a vampire.
Oh. Okay. All right. Then I guess that's good. I was a human. Okay.
Yes. So that was your action.
I got action number 2.
At the end of the round.
At the end of the round.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Whew. All right, breathe.
Okay. So Dale.
Yeah. So so I'm like behind all of this, of course. Do I have any way of like seeing past her or what just happened, or
she came in and swung on something, but beyond that, it's hard to say. She's almost right at the entrance. You have to push past her to get in.
Okay. So gosh, I don't want to have to push past her. Okay. So then he's going to be like, "That's the way. Keep it up," and he'll use Exalt again on.
Okay.
Me.
All right. So before I get to the NPCs, Charlotte. So as you are chatting with the other Nigel, and he has shown you the virtues and strength of the desk that is in the office. So I mean, at this point, he's just like, we can kick the other guy out. I can pull the blinds down, and we can
Test out this desk.
do some things. We could call it signing a contract.
Sorry, I'm just like, what do I do?
Can you put him to sleep?
How do you want to play this?
If I have anything to put him to sleep, now it got me thinking, or just like a Karate chop.
I don't tell. You're gonna judo chop him like Austin Powers.
No, definitely not.
Judo chop. I mean, it's possible if you have enough, you could punch him and knock him out, but that's if you wanted to go that route. This is not like you dominated him or anything. He would know that you attacked him.
You need some lipstick that is like somnolent or something.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Something for later, obviously. Can't do that right now.
Yep. Nope. It's like, well, don't you usually have to take a girl out before any of that?
Roll again.
Okay. Do slash mem. Four successes.
Okay. And so he's like kind of mulling that over, and then the other Nigel's like, yeah, man, you can't just like be like that raw. You gotta be a gentleman, sort of thing. And he's like, yeah, yeah, can I get your number? I'd rather be a gentleman and take you out first. Like, bypass this, this could come up like later or something,
Man, it would be hilarious if she gave him the bed and breakfast number, but that will also give him the wrong impression.
It's like, oh.
Give him Amon's number.
Yes. Thank you. She gives him Amon's number.
Okay.
Who I'm sure has dealt with this before.
Okay.
He pretends to be her girlfriend. His boyfriend, girl, whatever. Brain.
Okay, so you give him, as you're giving him the number, you end up seeing Cade come flying out of the back of the area and like running, like he slams into the door that was the first one that leads from the office into the actual storage area. And he shoves that one open real quick, and he's starting to run back outside, looking like pretty terrified. And the other Nigel is momentarily caught up by that, and he's just like,
Yeah, Char's like, he just ran. That's not good.
Ma'am, can you like flash some leg or something to distract him?
No.
I don't know what it is that you can do. And so like he quickly goes running out to try and follow Cade.
And Char follows.
Okay, yeah. So at this point, like, Cade comes like running out real quick, and he's actually able to stop at this point, and stand defensively, but like something has bugged him. So, George, go ahead.
She kind of like will just like grab his shoulders and like shake him a little bit. Can you think of what happened? Talk to me.
Some fucking horrible. I saw death down there.
Abby, why don't you go ahead and roll again? At this point, give me charisma and leadership.
Okay.
Your difficulty would be 7 minus 2 is 5.
Okay.
Oh, and Charles, you got a reroll from Dale. So make sure you notate that down.
Hooray!
4 successes.
Okay. She's not she's not just good looking suddenly, but she's surprisingly wise and motherly.
And that makes me feel less terrified.
A little like you can confide in her and it's going to make some things okay. Like it's not quite as scary. Kind of like when, oddly enough as it feels, because you've got that primal fear in you, it's like when mom got a hold of you when you had a bad dream.
Oh, all right.
It's confusing, but it's helping.
Yeah, confusing but helping. Yes, I'll take anything I can get at this point. There's a tunnel that leads down into the ground, under the street. There was a room with six figures in it. One of them is a tattered woman. She was holding an animal, a stuffed animal, and she put the fear of death in me.
Do you think you can take me there?
Do I think I can take her there?
Do you know what? That's a great question. Do you want to give it a shot?
I mean, yes. Otherwise, I just get in my car and leave.
I know you're like, no, bye. Come on, Nigel.
Yeah. Would have preferred to stand my ground, but I
roll your available willpower.
Okay.
Difficulty 7.
Oh God. 3 successes.
Okay. Again, there was something about Charlotte kind of stopping you there, and that tone or how she spoke, she's just it's magical, and you feel a little bit more collected. You still got that fear somewhere in there, but you are much more willing, if she's with you, to go face those demons or whatever it was that bugged you out.
Right. Come with me, and I'll lead her back inside the place.
Do you take my hand?
I guess I'll hold a hand out. Like, do you want to take it or do you want to just follow?
She'll take his hand.
Okay, I'll lead her back inside.
Yeah. At that point, Nigel's like,
Eyes on the prize, Nigel.
right, sir. And so, like, he just pulls a gun out from the bag, locks and loads.
Not in daylight. Get inside. No.
On it, sir. Okay, and that is where we're going to stop for the evening. Right in the midst of a fight.
Awesome.
Wait, I don't get to use my second action?
Well, I would hold
Save
that
it.
thought because I would actually have to go through the NPCs,
Okay,
and I don't want to go. I don't want to go too much
That's a
further
can of
into that.
worms.
So.
Just make a note of where you left off.
Exactly.
Yes. What we need to do first is have RP votes. Unfortunately, Shelley had to go because of family emergency, so we will start with George.
I'm going to go with Abby. I think her going all Jessica Rabbit on the guy was really funny.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way. Okay, Rachel.
I mean, I had very little interaction tonight, but what I observed is mostly the Jessica Rabbit transformation that Abby did with her girthy hips.
All right, Dale.
I'm going George with everything that he went through. That's pretty good. He's selling it.
Okay, Abby.
George as well.
Okay.
Like just how he rolled with everything, like the perfume and and being scared. It was so good.
Okay. Brittany.
I'm going to go with Abby's Georgia Peach.
Okay. Yeah.
Georgia Peach.
Davey.
Abby.
Okay.
Quick question, Abby.
Aw.
What was that thing that you activated? Was it perfume?
It's called the perfume of longing.
Ah, perfect. I wrote it down correctly. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so there you go. Abby is our RP vote winner.
Yay!
She had so you pick up an extra 2 points for your character.
Awesome.
And since Abby won the RP vote, Abby, why don't you go ahead and roll 1d6 plus 1 in the chat?
Okay.
1d20 plus what?
Right.
1D100, 1000, D1000.
D100. I mean, that works. They make
How do I
those.
roll a d6? Sorry.
You do the
Slash
you do slash
R.
R.
1d6
Okay.
plus 1.
1d6.
Three.
So you know what? I'll tell you what. This is actually a newer game. Why don't you just re-roll that with 1d10?
We need the XP right now.
So just do one slash MM1.
Yeah. Okay, so
Five.
six total. So in order for you to award the 6 XP to everybody, you have to tell us ho 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 Merry Christmas.
Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas.
There you go. Everybody gets an additional 6 XP.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you,
And we
Sandy
better
Abby.
spend it before next game.
Buy up your willpower. Jeez.
Woo.
What is 6 in willpower not enough?
No,
you need to be at
6 in
10.
willpower is actually 6 in willpower is actually halfway decent.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Rachel is just more ride or die. She always focuses on that with starting characters. So.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and I had to spend a willpower in order to activate
yes,
the
I do.
fire sword.
Because I always needed
Yeah,
to. Exactly. Spending and everything else.
So cool. So our next game for this will be and will be the last one of the year, December 20th. So same bat time, same bat channel. Tomorrow is going to be our Marvel Superheroes game. So that's going to be on the 7th, and that is going to be the season finale for Marvel. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Okay.
And then next week on the 11th and 12th, we actually, which I think we're still having Street Fighter, but
Let's go.
I know Mike said he might not be able to be there, so I'll send a note out there.
It's kind of an important one because we're going to be in a big fight.
Right. So Wednesday on the 11th is Cyberpunk at 7 p.m. Arizona time, and then Street Fighter at 7 on the 12th. Also Arizona Standard Time. So thank you guys all for hanging out with us and tuning in, and the follows and the subs, and we will catch you again next time. Good night, guys.
No.
Good night.